HUR is recognised worldwide as the technology leader at the forefront of development of fitness equipment. HUR is a truly inclusive range, designed to meet the needs of the very young to the more mature, wheelchair users, those with mobility or sensory impairments, the gifted and talented, and the non-disabled. We spoke to 3 schools who have recently installed HUR equipment. They shared their experiences of working with HUR.
In deciding to purchase the HUR equipment, I needed equipment in the gym which I knew was going to be used by primary school children, 1,100 children that are at Colmers School and Sports College. We're part of the Sports College network, and our partners within this area, we have 12 secondary schools and 35 primary schools within our partnership. We wanted to be able to offer to the widest age range of pupils from 8 through to 19. And then also, we're a community school, so we're open in the evenings and weekends for local community. So mums and dads, all the way up to people who are old age pensioners. So I wanted a range of equipment that would cater for all of those needs, and HUR resistance equipment was the most ideal equipment that I could use.
Well, in 2003, when we became a sports college, one of our focus areas was on developing the health and fitness of the young people and of the people in the local community. Obviously, we've taken that across the school, not only in the PE department. It's been a focus in food studies and obviously in science, and particularly in 21st century science. We've now got the science department coming down and using the equipment here in the gym to do some of their testing, and it brings science to alive for the students, so they can actually see an application of their theory. And obviously we've got separate health modules at Key Stage 3 and at Key Stage 4, and it's an integral part of our Junior Leaders Award and of the GCSE programme.
Healthy body, healthy mind, and I don't say that in any way, shape or form lightly. What I know is that for many of my young people with visual impairment and multiple disability, they have to be very much encouraged and supported to be physical. Using a fitness centre, going onto a playground, standing on the grass, my young people have to be supported and encouraged to be physical, to express themselves physically. What I do know is that very importantly, there is a sense of achievement, there is a sense of well-being. For many of my young people, the issue of weight excess, obesity, lack of movement are significant issues.
Since we opened the gym with the HUR equipment in it, one of our main sports college targets is to actually develop health and fitness of children, make them more understanding of the requirements and the need to develop healthy bodies. As a result of that, the gym's open, breakfast clubs in the morning before school, lunchtime and after school. It's open in the evenings and weekends. And the numbers of pupils coming through the gym now that would never have used this kind of equipment before, it's been staggering. So we've had examples of young girls who would never have wanted to do extracurricular programs in health, actually coming in now, developing their own training programs, using it. At the other end, we have of course got all the gifted and talented pupils. We had 50 pupils at the National Indoor Rowing Championships at the weekend. Those pupils, beside training on the concept rowers, are coming in here and doing all their power and strength development using HUR equipment as part of their training programs. Our successful sports teams, we're Birmingham champions in athletics. Our soccer teams, hockey teams, basketball teams, netball teams, all our major team sports, the children are coming in here and using the equipment as part of developing their training programs, in helping with their success in their individual activities that they've chosen. In terms of developing a good curriculum, where obviously with having classes of 25 to 30 pupils, we wanted to have equipment that was very easily used, where pupils could actually go to the equipment, use it safely, use it quickly, progress on to the next piece of equipment in a circuit form of activity, which would allow us therefore to actually have larger groups of pupils working within the gym successfully all together and getting a full workout at the same time.
In making choices about equipment, there is actually so much on the market. HUR came to me with a solution and suggested that we might need to look at air resistance machines. I've got to be very candid and honest. At first, I wasn't quite sure what that meant. My physical education background is very much back in the days of heavyweight training equipment, multi-gyms, and quite heavy, robust equipment. What was very interesting was when I had the principles of the air dynamic and the use of air and compressed air, and then looked at the issue of my children and their point of access, I became very interested in this as an option that was very much more fit for purpose. So at the outset, I was perhaps a little naive about what air resistance machines may actually mean. I was concerned about things like noise. I know that my children are easily distracted. As visually impaired young people, the issue of residual noise actually can become a distraction. In actual fact, that wasn't a problem. But most importantly, what it gave me was, one, I didn't have to worry about issues of access and fingers and hands, working with equipment, changing weights, doing all of those things. Clearly the equipment is safe. It is much more finitely balanced so that you can really adjust settings to suit the individual children's needs. And of course, it is very, very easy to use.
The chief benefits for us of the HUR equipment being air compressed, the initial thing that comes to mind is the lack of noise. It's not like a gym where there's clanking all over the place, and the children can work efficiently and we can teach effectively, going around giving support, knowing what's going on in all areas at all time, and you can talk to the students while they're working. There is no chance of any student damaging anything. There are no moving parts with it. It's all controlled up and down. There's no holding a weight up and then them having to get rid of it. If they let go, it just comes down slowly. It's just very, very safe, and all staff feel very comfortable with using it in their lessons.
The HUR equipment is, in my opinion, much safer than with the traditional weight stack machines. Firstly, because of the fact that it doesn't put pressure on the joints, but secondly because it's calibrated in a way that it allows each individual to be able to lift very specifically to their needs. There is no weights which can be moved, therefore there's the safety angle in terms of weight stacks is removed. It provides natural resistance in a very safe environment.
Here at Caterham, I think we feel that there's no one particular group that's benefited more than others. We've included the fitness suite here in the curriculum of all students within the school. We've tried to go cross-curricular, linking with science, with design and technology, food. I think there are two groups that have really, really benefited. Girls, what we have, we've traditionally been a school that's been quite successful at games, and I guess while we're very successful at netball, we've sometimes alienated a significant proportion of the girls who have perhaps lack confidence in games, activities and so on and so forth. And what this has done, it's given them a lease of life. They're interested in their own well-being. It's given them confidence. They come and talk to you, not just in PE lessons but in the play. Oh, you're going to be in the gym today, miss? I'm coming in to do X, Y and Z. And also the fact that a number of our staff come in after school as well. It's actually created a really good community environment for both the students and the staff in the school. The other group that I think has benefited are boys who perhaps were not games orientated, It's interesting that the main user of our fitness suite, and we have over 150 students using the fitness suite out of lessons per week, are boys who are not part of any of our team sports, our football, rugby or basketball. They come in because they're working on their own personal well-being. They're becoming confident, and all of them, both boys and girls, are actually losing weight.
What made me feel better is in the ways it gave me a lot more confidence when it comes to physical activities in school. As I came to the gym and started getting fitter. Just using the different machines, like using cardio machines, I got fitter, long endurance. Started using the weights, you get fitter with the strength, you get a lot more strength. So when it comes around to physical activities in school, instead of shying away and going to the back of the queue, I wanted to get up the front to prove myself.
HUR equipment is very useful in bringing on talented young performers, in the sense that it's able to be inducted, so pupils can learn to use the equipment safely and in an environment very, very quickly. It's very simple, it's not a complicated piece of equipment, it's very efficient in developing strength, but it allows, once inducted, it allows talented sports people to come in and use the equipment safely, developing their own programs with very minimal supervision. One of the jobs that I have is a national athletics coach for Great Britain, and I work with a number of very talented athletes over a number of years, Denise Lewis being one of them. We've actually looked at using air resistance machines, the HUR range, with an athlete like Denise Lewis, where we want to develop safely power development in the early stages of the programme before an athlete of that kind would then go on to use Olympic lifting later in their programme. We invite gifted and talented pupils from local primary schools to actually come to the school during the summer months, 10-week programme, 2 hours a week, to develop their skills. This is a multi-skill based programme, so they're developing coordination, rhythm, balance, development of strength, etc. And they're coming in and they're doing vast ranges of activity, from dancing to gym to ball games to throwing to jumping. And obviously part of that development is for them to be looking at how they look after their body. So we talk to them about eating, but the HUR equipment allows us to actually do this with young, aspiring, gifted young primary school children at the age of 9 and 10, which we wouldn't have been able to have done had we had normal resistance facility.